Welcome back to WIS News Prime Time. In tonight's interview, we are highlighting a Midland school that is using service learning as a meaningful way to connect the impact students can have on the community with the community's impact on students.
The junior class at Heathwood recently took a break from the books to hammer hope home for neighbors at 5 different sites across Columbia and Lexington. And
we have a few of the students with us this evening who put in that sweat equity along with one of their teachers. We've got Matthew Black and Darren Benz, also the head of Heathwood's upper school, George Scouten. Thank you all for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Listen, we've done some work here at WIS with homework, so we know how great this organization is, George, and you all had a tradition at Heathwood for many, many years of going down to the low country, but COVID kind of changed the game but didn't stop the service, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we had been, I started working at the school back in the late 90s, and we had had a long history of doing service learning with our seniors down in the low country. When COVID hit, we couldn't travel the same way, and so we ended up partnering with Homeworks here in Columbia, and it was such a fantastic experience for our students that we decided that even when we were able to reestablish the connection down the low country, wanted to do a connection here in the Midlands as well. And so our juniors this year worked with Homeworks and worked on 5 different sites. And then we actually have class projects with our sophomores and freshmen as well.
It's fantastic.
Wow. And what did it mean to be able to participate in something like this, to see the project come together, and what did you learn in the process?
It was definitely a blessing to have the ability to give back to the community, and it was very just rewarding to see the end result of the house that we worked on, the before and after.
Matthew, what about you? Did you have an opportunity to meet the homeowner?
Yes, ma'am, I did end up meeting the homeowner, and watching her see the end product was so valuable. It just was like, wow, we really did a great thing. And I just, wow, it just was a lot.
Yeah, you're giving me goosebumps right now, just thinking about the reaction that they must have had.
Yeah, that's something that you probably didn't anticipate. I mean, you never really can fully accept or understand as you're doing it, you know, what it's going to look like on the other end. I mean, you can imagine it, but I'm sure when that moment hit, that was something you'll never forget.
Really, it really was.
What kind of things did you all do on your sites?
So we repainted windows and scraped off the paint. We worked on the fascia and the carport.
Oh.
And we repainted the ceilings and the railings. So
they put in some work, right?
They really did. And you know, these are skills that you're going to take with you, you know, beyond even this project. You know, as you grow up and whatnot, you'll always know and have that in your back pocket. So to be able to do something good, but I mean, those skills will it's something you'll carry with you for a long time.
Matthew was on a site where they actually redid a roof. So he roofed about a quarter of the roof.
Yeah, something like that.
That's pretty impressive, pretty impressive. George, the other thing that Heathwood highlights is that service at all ages, at all levels, and you mentioned some of the other grade levels, but talk a little bit about the importance of I mean, academics obviously is very important. Sure. That's, you know, the primary mission. But that whole connection of mind, body, and spirit, of bringing all of that together through service learning.
Right. Well, I think we're very much in the business of developing the whole child, right? And so that's more than just academics. And in fact, you know, to me, this was so important that we suspended classes for a day to be able to do that. And we'll do that for each of our classes. One of the things in our mission statement is this idea of service to others over pursuit of self-interest, right? So I want our kids to be successful, absolutely. I want them to lead successful lives, but I want them to lead meaningful lives. And that means an awareness that there's more than just us, right?
Yeah.
We have an obligation to others. We have an obligation to the community around us.
I love that.
That's impressive, you know, because so much of learning, you know, is an academic exercise where you learn it and, you know, you're trying to score on tests and whatnot. But this is something that just goes so much further beyond that, to significance, really, to helping others.
Right, and it's one of those things also where, you know, you're not going to get it right all the time.
That's right.
So how do we recut this board? How do we clean up this mistake or that mistake and make sure that we get it right? Because it has this value because we're doing it for other people.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're going to share the information for Homeworks for others who might be inspired to follow the example here that Darren and Matthew have set, but I want to hear from each of you as well. What were the biggest takeaways for you personally, having the opportunity to serve in this way?
For me personally, just it made me realize how important that service learning was, and it made me develop, I think, who I am as a person. I feel like I'm more committed to helping others in my community and learning through other ways that aren't in the classroom.
Yeah, hands-on learning and application. What about you?
It made me learn about myself and how much I like actually giving back and how rewarding it feels. It also makes me feel just blessed that I can help people and that I'm able to do that.
Well, that's what it's all about, being a blessing to others, right? And having an impact. And that's what the great thing is about volunteering. You go out to make a difference, but often it impacts you in so many other ways that you didn't expect. Thank you all for being such a blessing and such wonderful young leaders in our community. We appreciate it. George, thank you as well.
Thank you all so much.
Lots to be proud of. The greatest lesson of all being learned. Awesome. Really cool.